Hi again, everyone, and welcome to our NC2A Tournament edition of Badger Breakdown, brought to you by U.S. Cellular. I'm Mike Lucas from UWBadgers.com. I'm joined by the voice of the Badgers, Matt LePay, and every tournament organizer always hopes to get a number 1 and a number 2 seed matched in the Elite 8 game. The odds, though, that this would be a rematch of last year's Elite 8 were slim, but now this is going to fulfill itself with the Badgers playing the Wildcats.
Yeah, I think given the way this is working out, maybe they just want to schedule Wisconsin and Arizona for the foreseeable future. That'd be nice. And the two games on Thursday were both terrific. The Badger-North Carolina game, obviously, and the Arizona-Xavier game. Xavier, a team with 13 losses. Not sure how many people know about them who follow the Badgers, but they played very, very well. But it doesn't always work out the way you think it will, but I think as soon as that bracket was released, a lot of people were looking at a Wisconsin-Arizona game and saying, it's too bad they can't meet in the Final Four. Well, they are going to meet again, though, 1 year later.
Do you think there's an emotional edge for Arizona, having lost last year, being so close to taking that next step, having a coach now having to answer all the questions about never having a Final Four on his resume, and that would be Sean Miller?
Yeah, first off, I'd say Sean Miller handled those questions really, really well, too. I mean, he obviously knew they were coming, but he was impressive with how he handled that, and he said, "Look, you have to kind of embrace it because you don't have any choice." They've had very good teams for a while now. Sean Miller's coached nothing but winning teams where he's been at Xavier and at Tucson now with the Wildcats program. Look, they've won their league 2 years in a row. They've won it 3 times since he's been there, and I think maybe it's just another example of how razor's edge it is between moving on or not. Is there an emotional edge? Yeah, I think there would be to Arizona. What that means, I don't know. But I think, much like we've heard a lot about how the Badgers would love to see Kentucky again. Well, I think it's pretty safe to say the Arizona guys really want to see Wisconsin again. They're going to get that chance.
During each of these breakdowns, we point out the matchup, the Frank Kaminsky matchup for an opponent. And rightly so, because of the type of season that Kaminsky's had. But in this tournament, Sam Decker has made some noise, and Arizona's got to be concerned about how they match up with Decker.
Yeah, he's averaging about 20 a game here in this tournament, and what he has done, especially in the Oregon game as well as in the game against North Carolina, he was brilliant. He was a difference maker. The second half effort against Oregon, what he did in the first half, what he did all night long against North Carolina, but those 15 in the first half, that was critical because Wisconsin was at times having a little trouble finding its way, but was only down by 2 at the half in large part because of Decker. And again, it's the beauty of this Wisconsin team is that you can focus a lot on a Kaminsky, you can focus a lot on a Decker, but there are still other weapons who can get to you. And the question is, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Showalter again coming off the bench? A lot of options for the Badgers.
Well, I think you can make the argument that Wisconsin's more complete now than at any other time during the season because of Zach Showalter's performance in this NC2A tournament and the return of Trey Jackson.
Yeah, the return of Trey. I think we all wanted to see together how much he would play, when he would play. The number of minutes he played was about what they thought was realistic going in. He played 9. They thought maybe they'd get 10 out of him. That'd be pretty good. But it was when he played. He got introduced fairly early in the game, hit a 3 almost right away. But when he's in there at crunch time, Bronson Koenig had foul trouble, eventually fouled out. And here's Trey Jackson, 10 weeks removed from his last playing time, on the floor, Sweet 16. Big lift for this team from an intangible point of view as well as a practical point of view. And then what Zach Showalter's brought off the bench these last 2 games especially has been special.
And if you want to be entertained, just follow the alpha dogs for the respective teams. McConnell for Arizona and Gosser for Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's tough on tough right there. TJ McConnell fans remember last year, and he was a guy that a lot of people out west thought could have been the Pac-12 Player of the Year. Joseph Young of Oregon ended up winning that award, and I think he merits that, deserves that. But you could make an argument for McConnell as well. He's kind of the guy who makes things go. They're very good with on-the-ball pressure, and it's McConnell who triggers that. It's interesting. Arizona gets more than 7 steals a game. That's second best in the Pac-12, and it's that on-ball pressure that causes a lot of it. And he's the guy who makes things go. And he's also a great assist guy as well for the Wildcats. Does a lot both ends of the floor.
Pretty exciting stuff. Deja Bow. Regional final, Arizona, Wisconsin, 1 step away from a Final Four.
2 really good programs that have sustained success. Certainly Arizona national championship season back in 1997, that they had a deep tradition for quite a while. Wisconsin, though, it's longer and longer now. The Badgers have established that they're a very good program, and I just think you have two programs that are similar in a lot of ways. There are a couple of differences, but guys stay in the program, obviously, at Wisconsin. Some leave early at Arizona, but a lot of guys do stay around. They get some continuity that way. We remember Sean Miller. He was only at Madison for 1 year. That was Stu Jackson's first year, but it's been kind of fun to follow his career. Normally, he'd root for him, but not now. But he's put together a very, very good program. Great reputation. Final Four or not, I think people in the profession know how good Sean Miller is.
Yeah, it should be a great show between these two teams. Thanks for watching Badger Breakdown, brought to you by U.S. Cellular.